So yesterday I decided to make my run at Mythic for the season. I decided I wanted to play Rakdos Fling or Mono Red Fling, whatever you want to call this deck, a very well-known, tried and true, powerful deck that has kind of fallen off a little bit. But I wanted to remind people that this thing is still powerful. So I put on the camera, recorded like 13 games and got so close, just a few pips away from hitting Mythic. But that was enough for the video. I showcased some pretty good gameplay and everything was okay. Then I decided to play a few more games after going out for a walk and hit Mythic. Pretty easy peasy, actually. Just kind of coasted right on in. But then I went to edit the video footage, and unfortunately, the audio was just a little bit unusable. I probably could have gone with it, but it just wasn't really going to be satisfying to me. So here I am again today. We're in Mythic, but I want to show you the deck that I used to hit Mythic for the season. I ended up going 13-5 with this deck, and well, I think you all know what this deck is all about. Of course, we have the powerful creatures. In our one slot, we have Burnout Bastronaut, Higher Claw. In our two slot, we have Embercart Challenger and Slickshot Show-Off. You know all of these cards. Maybe Burnout Bastronaut's a little bit unfamiliar. A 1/1 for 1 Goblin Warrior. This thing's insane when it has menace naturally, and then when we get up to max speed, this thing can get double strike, which is especially potent with some of the pump spells that we are playing in the deck. We have Turn Inside Out, Full Bore, and Dread Maw's Ire. All of these are pumping our creatures up. We want to either load up a Slickshot Show-Off and then ultimately fling it to the opponent with the burn together. Or if we put all this stuff on a Burnout Bastronaut that has double strike, it's going to be hitting for a ton of damage. Then we have Bolt Wave and Burst Lightning just to round things out for a little bit of poke damage at the opponent's face if we just can't quite get enough damage when we're attacking. Then over in the lands, there's something here that you can actually substitute out. The deck is playing 4 copies of Blazemire Verge, but it's not really necessary. So the Callous Sellsword is the card that we're using for Fling. Of course, it does have a black side, but most of the time, very, very, very often, you are not playing the Callous Sellsword for the human soldier side. You are going to be playing it for the burn together side. But in the cases where you do need to play it out for the creature, it's nice to have the option to do that. So that's why the Blazemire Verges are in the deck. You could just substitute with 4 mountains if you really wanted to. You could also put in 4 of the Shocklands if you have those instead of the Blazemire Verge. The Verge is cool because although it does make black mana at its base level, you're never going to keep an opening hand with just Blazemire Verge, like 1 land Blazemire Verge, even just 1 mountain. This deck doesn't really operate on 1 mountain most of the time, so you're probably going to throw that hand away. If you have a mountain and a Blazemire Verge in your opening hand, you play out the mountain first, then you follow it up with the Verge, and everything's fine, no problem. The only case where this would really hurt you is if you drew 2 Blazemire Verges in your opening hand, or 3 Blazemire Verges is your opening hand. Some insanely improbable situation. So I think the Verge is fine to have in the deck if you want to have access to your Callous Sellsword. But if you don't really care about casting that 2/2 creature, then just go straight mono red, and that's going to be fine. In fact, actually, you could probably put in the land for the Emberheart Challenger. Am I really going to go try to find that right now? It's this one, the Rock Face Village. This would actually be pretty good. The problem with this one is that it only makes mana to cast creature spells, and that can be a little bit awkward with all of these 1 red mana pip spells. Let's say you have a hand, you have some creatures on the field. You have Mountain, and you have the Rock Face Village as your 3rd land, and you're sitting here with 3 spells that you need to cast all 3 of them to end the game. That could be a feels bad. But it could be a good substitution, something to think about if you want to modify the mana base up ever so slightly for this deck. So that's the basic idea behind it. It's not too complicated. We're just going to go out there. We're going to fling some spells at the opponent's face. We're going to throw some giant creatures at our opponent's faces and hopefully sneak out some wins. I want to showcase this one to remind everyone that, in fact, yes, Slickshot Show-Off is a busted card, and you can still just throw it at people's faces. See you over in the games. All right, so Rakdos Fling time. What happened to this deck? This deck just kind of vanished for me. I don't know. Ooh, a risky hand. We have our Burnout Bastronaut, but it is our only creature. You don't really like seeing just 1 creature in the opening hand, but I think the spells are enough to support it. We're going to hope that this little Burnout Bastronaut can get it there. Maybe the opponent is on... That's probably bad news. So what are we going to put into exile? I think probably just a mountain. It's fine. More pump spells, so maybe we can get something done. I have a feeling, though, there's a seam rip in the future for this Burnout Bastronaut. And if that is the case, then we are in trouble. What do you got for me? Axio Magic. Ooh, the opponent is on something I did not really expect. So, because we do have these pump spells, I do want to start getting this max speed in on the opponent. If they double block here, we get a pretty good attack or a pretty good blowout, maybe. They just let it happen. You know what? I am just going to use the Burnout Bastronaut's +1 ability and +1 power ability and just go from there. So yeah, this deck, it's running pretty well. It is definitely the like glassiest of cannons. You absolutely know that. If you've played this deck, you know what's going on with this thing. This thing is all in on hopes and prayers, hoping that the opponent doesn't have the exact interaction that they need to blow you out. And if you can make it happen, then things get pretty good for you. But I would say that this is one of those decks that exemplifies the standard right now has a ton of non-games where, well, hey, that's not great. Thankfully, they're not gaining life here. But eventually, I assume the opponent will be gaining some life in their Angels deck. Okie dokie. Boom, boom. That hurts. Well, the good news is we can get max speed now. Boom, like that. And we are going to be going in on the opponent's face. If they choose not to block here, then it's going to be pretty good news for us. They do choose to block, which means we actually get a 2-for-1 here with only one spell. And that is going to be pretty huge. Boom, kill that. And then the follow-up damage here will not kill our Burnout Bastronaut. Did I miss lethal? I forgot that we were attacking in for trample. I think I probably did. I would have done... Oh, yeah, I totally missed lethal. This gives trample. Yeah. So we would have been a 5-5. They had 4 points of protection, 4 points of toughness there. So they would have mitigated just 4 of the 10. 6 went through, and then we could have thrown the creature at it. I think we would have been fine to get the kill there. But it's fine. I don't think the opponent has anything in this case. So we actually are able to do literally everything. Assuming that this last spell that they have in hand is not a, like, get lost, we should be okay. So we'll move to blockers. It is a get lost. Okay. It's fine, though. Okay. Are they going to actually block on the Hired Claw? They do need to. Double block probably too. So we have 5 points of damage in hand, 5 points of trampling damage. And so I don't actually get punished here with my poor misplay on the last turn not hitting lethal. But this is what the deck does. We actually fight through a little bit of removal, which is nice. Thankfully, they only had 1 point of removal with the get lost. But even going through the creatures, a little bit surprised that we were able to slam through with the 1/1s and the 1/2. All right, let's keep on moving. This deck is a whole lot of fun. I love playing it. It's a whole lot of fun for me. That's about it. I don't think opponents... This is definitely one of those decks that I will fully recognize is not conducive to general fun. No opponent enjoys going up against this deck because either they get absolutely blown out or the game is... You know, they just rock over you. You know, you have a single Slickshot Show-Off, you have your Requiting Hex, you kill it, and then you just slowly destroy the opponent over the next couple of turns. Got him! Whatever. What do you suspect happened there? They mulliganed down to 6. Was their 6 so bad that they're like, you know what, I'm not doing this, and they just threw it in? I guess so. Again, only having one creature in your opening hand is quite the risk, especially when you are against somebody that's presenting black mana. Because of that, I'm not going to put out the Emberheart Challenger right away. Now, knowing what the opponent's actually on, I probably should have done that. Thankfully, their mill was not the scariest mill that it could have been. All right, Emberheart Challenger onto the field. We're going to attack in, probably not pumping it up, but I do have the turn inside out if I want to not save the creature, but like leave a body on the field. Of course, Manifest Dread is here, and that's it seems to be what we're doing. Unfortunately, I do get the Valiant trigger on the Emberheart Challenger, but it was not so useful anyways. But we still have an attacker, which is fine. And we did get rid of a whole bunch of mountains from the top of our library. So how much damage do I have here? You want to see the power of Turn Inside Out? That is the power of Turn Inside Out. You love to see it. The turn 4 kill on the Kavaro. Oh my goodness. This one is for you. Sorry, Necro. Sorry for slamming on your boy Kavaro. Oh, I love every time I do it. Having the absolute perfect hand is so satisfying, and I'm so sorry because I know so many times I complain about it, about my opponents having just ideal draws. So I believe this is going to be my Wednesday video for next week. I would love to know, the bans went through, the ban announcement happened. Are you happy with what they announced, or are you disappointed in old Wizards of the Coast? This is tough, man. I would love to keep this whole hand, but you know, we're not going to be able to do that. Did they make the right choice? Did you get the no changes in the meta, or did they actually do something? I would love to know. I'm sure, I have a feeling that it's going to be a no changes. That's where I am, but I think people are generally not too annoyed with standard right now from what I see online. It's a little hard to say for sure, but yeah, maybe things are okay. So how much damage do I actually have here? I have quite a bit of damage because we can go Slickshot. This is going to be 5, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage, which is not enough damage quite. But it does put me in a pretty good spot to end the game on the next turn. I could just hold the Burst Lightning for the Optimistic Scavenger and try to get them on a pump up of the Optimistic, trying to, when they go to load up the Optimistic Scavenger, I hit it with the Burst Lightning. I'm a little bit afraid that they have the protection spell, Shard. Yeah. Yeah, so as for the bans, they're in a weird spot because I think the format is so cooked right now that they can't really fix the format. It's so overtuned. There's so many things in the format that they need to kind of remove. So I think they just kind of need to leave it. They also have a bigger like shake-up banning coming in the nearish future. And I don't know if that's something that they're going to want to play towards. This Wonderweave Aerialist is actually a bit of a problem for me because if they have the Shard Mage's Rescue, they could put that on the Wonderweave Aerialist, and then it gets flying. So I do need to be a little bit careful here, but I am gonna... I don't think they have anything. I have a feeling they must have... Sheltered by Ghost. I think there's no doubt in my mind that they have Sheltered by Ghost. So what we're going to do is we're going to just put as much damage as we can on the opponent. If they have the Sheltered by Ghost, we're probably cooked no matter what. Actually, this deck in general has a pretty bad win rate against the Auras deck because it does have a hard time sniping the creatures. And once they get the Sheltered by Ghost on the board, this is like life gain that I actually cannot overcome. So we're literally just dead in this situation because they had the Shelter by Ghost. Maybe I should have continued to play around it a little bit, been more careful with holding up Burst Lightning. But with the Wonderweave Aerialist, the problem is... Yeah, I'll do this too. The problem is the ward, right? It's hard to hold up 3 mana every turn to be able to Burst Lightning a Wonderweave Aerialist. Do they have another Shelter by Ghost? Because if they do, they put that on the Optimistic Scavenger, eat the Burnout Astronaut, and we are done in this matchup. They just have a Seam Rip, which probably means we just... Yeah, we're done. We're done with this one. GG, opponent. I think this is going to be a tough matchup. I think in the case of this one, you just either have to be more patient than I was in this case, or pray that they don't have Shelter by Ghost. Isn't that fun? So I have been playing a lot of Slickshot Show-Off Emberheart Challenger decks, and that's by design because last week I did say, hey, if you... Yeah, we'll go out this way. If you craft or you want to craft a pretty good card, Slickshot Show-Off's a pretty good way to make the... Oh, come on, life gain? Make the... What you call it? Aura, mono white auras deck may be a little bit more interesting. So it's possible that there are people out there who have crafted the Emberheart Challenger and also the Slickshot Show-Off. You know what? I think I'm going to take the opportunity to get rid of this. I was kind of thinking that I was going to put a Burnout Astronaut, but if I can get rid of their gain life card, their Hinterland Sanctifier, I think I'm okay with that. It cuts them off quite a bit. Like this Johnny's Primate now being a 2/2 is a lot worse for them. And in fact, we get to... Let's see if they block the Higher Claw. Maybe the opponent wants to give me a free gift here. They just block the Higher Claw and then I get away with murder, but not the case. Boom. Okay. So this is going about as well as I could hope. We would kind of like another land maybe, but even... Actually, no. I don't know what I want. Maybe pump spells because these Burnout Astronauts are probably going to have double strike soon. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of these decks because I want to show people that there are tons of places for your Slickshot Show-Off and your Emberheart Challenger to find homes. Oh my god. Come on. Come on. It's not fair. Okay, but it's fine because we do get to hit like this. We get to put the... I'm going to put it into exile, I suppose. And now our Burnout Astronauts are double striking. Our Slickshot Show-Off going to be coming in, getting pumped up by the inside out. We're going to have a lot of damage next turn. And if we end up finding another 1 CMC pump spell, that would be great. If we end up finding even a land, the Emberheart Challenger will be okay. I think the worst draws are probably going to be Higher Claws or Burnout Astronauts. Otherwise, going to be good. Or a Slickshot Show-Off. I don't really want to see another Slickshot Show-Off. Okay, up to 4 mana, and they have the Case of the Uneaten Feast, so they're going to be gaining quite a bit of, like, just life here and there. Okay, that's fine, though. Full bore. Full bore is fantastic. I don't know how much damage this is. I'm not going to sit here and count it, but I'm going to assume that it's probably enough damage. That was the draw that we needed to fight through life gain. So it is possible to beat a Shelter by Ghost if you have the right combination of cards and the opponent does stumble a little bit. Wonderweave Aerialist. I took that out of the Auras deck, and I think it was like an immediate regret. That card is a little bit cracked. Okay, game number 5. No, game number 6, where I miswrote down my things. We're going to do 10 games today. Opening hand... Fine, 2 creatures. I always like to see 2 creatures, and my favorite, Wonderful Goblin Warrior, showing up. That, I mean, the thing, it really doesn't matter what the opponent puts down. What? Fire-Brained Scheme. Exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them. Until the end of your next turn, you may play one of those cards. They exiled Mountain. So the opponent here in the tank making a big decision. Do they want the left mountain or the right mountain? Okay, they made the choice. They did pick one of the 2 mountains that they had available to them. Good. That's not a bad card, right? Firebrain Scheme. It's fine. I don't remember seeing it ever. Maybe once before. The name sounds a little bit familiar to me. Emberheart Challenger. So it looks like our opponent and I are doing the same kind of thing. Put out our creatures, hope that they don't have interaction for the creatures, start building up the max speed, and then we have a ton of ways to support it. What was I going to say? There was something I had a thought that I was going to bring up, but it fluttered out of my mind. Doesn't matter. Oh, they had the Plasma Bolt for my poor Emberheart Challenger. Am I happy that they went after the Emberheart Challenger? Maybe? Kind of not happy that we are drawing a whole bunch of lands, though. Okay. Does it matter if I fire off this Bolt Wave now? No. We'll just do it because if I do end up drawing like another pump spell for the next turn, I want to be able to use all 4 mana to get the Burnout Bastronaut huge and then just go in. That's assuming that I even survive until next turn. It's possible that the Firebrain Scheme actually ends up just wiping us out. Did they hit Mountain again? They just need like literally one more spell. So they should have put that on face. I'm going to protect my Burnout Bastronaut because it's how I maybe kill them on the following turn. If I lose the Burnout Bastronaut, I lose. And they didn't put the shock on the dome. Okay, it doesn't matter. They had it in spades. They went first. They had a whole bunch of removal spells. You know what? Let's help the opponent out. Let's give them a little bit more juice and make sure that we are completely dead. At least the games are fast. Okay, I love it. I kind of like this RAF one. I think they did a good job with the, what do you call those, avatars? Is that what it is? I think it is Avatar for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set, but they did not do such a great job with the creatures, with the pets. I think the pets look awful. They really messed those pets up. We again are against red. What is red becoming popular again? Are people switching over to just throwing down creatures and trying to burn the opponents out? This is probably a mistake, but I'm going to put it up top. I'm going to try to get my max speed going. So the turn that the Burnout Bastronaut enters the battlefield, it does get 1 tick of the max speed. And then anytime you do damage to the opponent on your turn, yes, during your turn, it goes up. So the first time it comes down, we can get 2 points of, get 2 max speeds on the opponent. They don't seem to have anything. I'm going to put a little bit of mana into the Burnout Bastronaut here. Why not? What opponent do you have? Oh, why do I feel like I'm going to get absolutely dunked on by like a fire magic here? Kind of what I'm expecting. Or they could be gearing up towards, well, no, they would have put out the Hellkite last turn. It's a Bayo. Okay. You don't lose. Oh, scary. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I drew a land. If I had drawn a Burst Lightning there or a Bolt Wave, we would have been in such good shape. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do here. Except maybe, you know what? I'm just going to put a little bit of extra damage on the opponent's face. Just use my mana efficiently. They can't block because of Menace. Okay. And I'm worried because Bayo, who is Electro, I believe, is the actual card. This is a card that I think that some people were hyped up about it when it was first spoiled in Spider-Man, Omen Paths, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think people really leaned into it. And of course, the opponent may be a little unfamiliar with this card because what they could have done is I think they could have tapped down the Fire Nation Palace to bank a little bit of mana. We are definitely in trouble. If they need to take care of both of these Burnout Bastronauts, though. If they have double removal spells, we're in trouble. If they end up just doing this, maybe we'll be okay. We are still at 20 life, so it's possible that they could kill us, but it's, 20 life is a big ask, I suppose. Especially since they are generating a ton of mana. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, add 1 red mana. I have to assume that this card got pretty popular in some EDH decks, right? Okay, so it looks like maybe 3, possibly 4 mana to keep going here. Draw a card, trample, haste. Cool. In-play entrance, neat. Okay. They still have 3 mana available, 4 mana available to them, 2 cards in hand. They need to get rid of the Burnout Bastronaut, and I am so scared. Unfortunately, not... You know what? It's not the worst draw, because what we can do is we can pump inside out. They do not have interaction for our last Burnout Bastronaut. The Burnout Bastronaut coming through as the hero of the day. One more time. I feel like Slickshot Show-Off? Who's that? It's the Burnout Bastronaut show. This guy is just tearing things up. Look at him. Jumping on top of this car and just going for a ride with his magical hammers. Man, you have no idea how much I love this card. And I think it's so fair. Yeah, great design. All right, 3 more games to go. I kind of want to wrap this one up. I want to get outside. The weather is awfully nice. It's actually stifling hot suddenly, but just for this week, thankfully, then it'll cool off a little bit. The amount of times this happens. Hey, we got a friendly opponent. Always got to blow a kiss to the friendly opponents. And hopefully the opponent is not on removal.deck. Starting town these days means a lot of things. I feel like this card just kind of gets jammed into a lot of unexpected places. I'm going to go out with the Burnout Bastion. I'm going to try to get the max speed thing going because it seems to be one of those things that really propels me forward. And it is a Saw Blade. 5 damage is a lot of damage. Dang. Oh, wait. So that happens. We do get the ping there, which is nice. And you know what? I think I'm just going to throw out the Bolt Wave. Dreadmaw's Ire, such a hard card for me to say, does have a second ability on it. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy target artifact that player controls. That is... Did you know that's good? It's real good. In fact, it's so good that I'm going to take the time to do it right now. A little bit inefficiently, but we are smoking the Simulacrum Synthesizer. I would have loved to get a Slickshot Show-Off plotted or onto the field even, but if you have the opportunity to get rid of that, I think you kind of have to take that opportunity. And the opponent desperately perilous snaring away my poor boy. Oh, my poor boy. Where are my lands? I think I do need to find some of them eventually. It would be nice to be able to put the Slickshot Show-Off, have the Burst Lightning Bolt Wave ready to go. And repurposing Bay means that the opponent can get the Simulacrum Synthesizer daily online. So we kind of need to find another Dreadmaw's Ire. Or a land? Okay. So that's cool because this also triggers the that's fun. That's a fun draw. This also triggers. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Do we get the full insult on the opponent? We got them so many different ways. How do we do it? How do we do it? I think we do it with a fling, right? All right. GG opponent. Good game. Sorry. Our cards lined up gloriously, and that's just the way it goes sometimes with this deck. You gotta, like I said, hopes and dreams. And we are running pretty well. 2, 4, 6, 6, and 2 so far. We got 2 more games. Let's see if we can end strong. If I can talk directly to my last opponent, if by some miracle of the internet you manage to find my YouTube channel and you watch yourself get absolutely dismantled by the luckiest Dreadmaw Ires possible, just know that it wasn't your fault. It was serendipity. It was pure happenstance luck. I feel like that opponent, if I were on the receiving end of that situation where the Ires are removing my poor things, I'd fall apart, right? I'd be like, you know what? This game is such trash. I'm done with this. I'm not playing this game anymore. And I would just move on with my life. And I feel like it's very possible that that's the situation the opponent was in. We, however, now are meeting the real boss. It is Jeskai control time. And that could mean any number of things. I'm just going to lead out with the Burnout Bastronauts and hope that they can get the max speed going. I'm assuming that they're holding up a No More Lies. Seems to be the case. They probably want to use the No More Lies on the Slicky. We want to see like a Bolt Wave or Burst Lightning. Not a Slicky. Okay. Well, since that's the case, I am just going to attack in first. Yeah. Do I pump? Do I pump? I think I pump. Sure. Get a little bit of extra squeak in damage. Boom, boom, down to 15, and we plot one more. So now the opponent is in a sticky situation. The sticky situation is there are 2 Slickshot Show-Offs plotted, and there are 2 Burnout Bastronauts with double strike on the field. If the opponent doesn't use this mana to remove one of these Burnout Bastronauts, I think they're going to be really stressed out for the next turn with, you know, upwards of 4 mana. But I don't know how they would... Oh, wow, okay, I'm very curious to see how the opponent end up playing this turn out. They go with the Starcage Pinnacle. Yep, you have to. Absolutely have to. We unfortunately draw very poorly with that mountain, but we just go for the gusto. I don't know how much damage this is. We are also getting back... How many times have I said that? How much damage is this? Is this lethal damage? Oops! Oops! Oh, it was Xaxes. I looked away. I didn't want to count it out. I just want to be a little turd. When you're playing mono red Fling, I hate this question. The turd really comes out in me. Okay. All right. Mr. Abstract, our final opponent. I did not expect this run to go as swimmingly as it has been going. We are on the play. I kind of feel like we haven't been on the play all that often this set of games, actually. And we got our full suite of creatures. We got every single creature that we have available in our deck, in our opening hand here. And we're going to have to choose to put one away. So, what do you think I'm going to choose here? This is a fun little thing. By the way, if you've made it to whatever time this is in the video, like the video, help me out. It's such an easy thing for you to do. And if you're not subscribed up, you can also do that. After that last kill, I think I deserve at least a like and definitely a subscription. What do you think I'm going to throw away here? Which of these cards would you throw away? And I'm going to go with the Emberheart Challenger. Although the Emberheart Challenger is fantastic, I want my early game. Burnout Bastronaut, I can't throw it away. It just works so well with the higher claw. Obviously, Slickshot Show-Off is going to be fantastic if the opponent gives us a bit of an opening. And yeah, I feel like we don't have a way of triggering the Valiant, so we're losing extra value on the Emberheart Challenger. If I had maybe some of the pump spells, maybe I would have reevaluated things a little bit, maybe thrown away the higher claw. But yeah, I think I'm happy with my decision. It's a Deep Cavern Bat. Okay, so they probably... I don't know. What do you take here? Slickshot? Yeah. That makes sense. We are flooding out a little bit, but thankfully we do have mana dumps with the Hired Claw and the Burnout Bastion. So next turn we can actually do both of them, which sucks, but maybe we are against a Dimir mid-range deck. We're going to be able to maybe grind them out with these two creatures. However, they're definitely going to have Bitter Triumphs and Shoot the Sheriffs and Requiting Hexes and any other number of things. And they're also gaining a little bit of life. Okay. Bolt Waves it is. Bolt Waves for days. I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter. I was going to say I probably should have fired off one of the Bolt Waves to get max speed guaranteed, but I do have the Higher Claw attacking in. If they let me. Okay. What do they tap down? Burnout? Yep. I think I prefer them tapping down the Burnout Bastronaut here. And if they end up jumping in front of the Higher Claw with the Flood Pitch Drowner, I would be over the moon about that. They choose not to. Okay, knowing that the opponent has hand disruption, I think I'm just going to fire both of these Bolt Waves off at the opponent's... Do you have something? 1 mana? Spell Pierce? No, surely not, right? Surely they do not have some way of interacting with my Bolt Waves, right? Ooh, ooh, wow. Okay, you know what? I kind of like that. To counter the Bolt Wave, put the Deep Cavern Bat back in hand so that you can play it out next turn. Eat the Slickshot Show-Off one more time. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Now, if you're the opponent, are you putting the Flood Pitch Drowner into your deck? Are you shuffling away the Burnout Bastion after the attack here? I don't know. They got to deal with the Higher Claw. It's going to be like 5 damage being represented next turn, kind of. And the Burnout Bastronaut with Menace is very brutal. It's not obviously going to be attacking next turn because it's still tapped down, but they have to make the decision now. and they get rid of it. So does that mean they're throwing? Man, I don't know about that decision. Because now they're in a weird spot where they have to decide whether or not they give me the Deep Cavern Bat. They don't give me the Deep Cavern Bat, and we top deck them. We go with the 8-2 run. What a spread. Oh my goodness, this climbing pretty well. What a good run. Good job, Chandra. You did it, girl. All right, so just in case you forgot that this deck exists, well, it's still here. It's alive and well. It's doing well. We had a pretty good spread of matchups. We played against mono white, played against mono red a couple of times, doing okay in those matchups. Surprisingly, going 3-1 against mono white, although that might be recording a different game that I had played before. I kind of deleted the deck and then I reloaded it and played it a little bit before recording this morning. So my stats are 9-3 with an 83% on the play, 67% on the draw. If you are a lucky boy and you are often on the play, this is the deck for you, because being on the play with this deck is a huge advantage. Overall, the deck is pretty awesome. I mean, I think it feels good. Everything in here is great. The only problem with the deck is that you do have one sketchy craft. I would say that these 3 creatures are staples in red, and although this will be rotating, this will be rotating, and this will be rotating in January, we still have like 7-8 months. You know, it's going to be quite a ways away, but it's something to start considering. These are going to be staples until rotation if you are playing a red-oriented deck, and a red aggro deck. So these are good crafts. I've been saying it. Slickshot Show-Off, Emberheart Challenger, they're fine. You should be crafting them. Burnout Bastronaut, I love it. I think it's probably one of the most powerful cards in the deck. It's one of those cards that your opponent doesn't really want to use their removal on because they know you have a Slickshot Show-Off coming, but this thing is doing just as much damage over the course of the game, and if it gets double strike and the opponents are shields down and it gets through with that evasion of the menace and you throw on one of these spells, suddenly this little thing is ripping somebody's face apart, and you can't go wrong with that. Also, though, it is rotating in January, or when the next rotation does happen in 2027. So it is something to consider. The rest of the deck is budget. Of course, as I said, with your land situation, I did not even think about casting the Callous Sellsword a single time. So going 20 mountains is fine. You could also... you probably have Blood Crypts. You could put Blood Crypts in it, but then you are taking damage, you know, unwillingly, I guess is the best way to say that, when you don't really need to be doing damage to yourself, because if you end up having like an opening hand of Blood Crypt and a mountain, probably you have to put that Blood Crypt in untapped, and 2 damage to the face does kind of suck in some matchups. Otherwise, there aren't really good choices for Rakdos lands. I think you're kind of stuck between these two now that I'm kind of looking at things. I suppose you could put in Starting Town or Multiversal Passage, but it's the same thing. Do you really... No, Multiversal Passage would be terrible. Don't put in Multiversal Passage. Starting Town could be okay, but then you're taking damage. The Blademire Verge is great, or just 20 mountains. That's what you want to do with this deck. So let me know what you think about Rakdos Fling. Is it still a awesome deck? Did I just get lucky? Currently, overall, what are my stats with this deck? I'm kind of curious now. I want to see the overall win rates. I am, because I deleted it, I got to add the 2 together. So we are 20-8 with the deck. 20-8 seems pretty good to me. That's a healthy win rate. So if you play this deck, if you get used to it, you can definitely climb with this one. I think it is a surefire way to rip apart the best of 1 ladder. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. More aggro to come. I've been playing a ton of aggro, but I think all of you out there do enjoy my aggro builds. They're not my builds. My aggro gameplay. These aggro decks are always fun to play for me because it's the way I like to play the game. But maybe we'll see some new stuff in the next video. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. That's it for this one. Rambling over. Take care for now. Sarang Ipana, and I will catch all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.